What is up, dudes and lady dudes? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we've got another series, another installment of the series, Locals Report. So if you don't know what the series is, pretty much the first half of the video, there's two parts, is me just going over the deck I'm playing, the list I'm playing, talking about any possible changes I made from the week prior, because some weeks we will play the same deck maybe 2 weeks in a row just to see if we can make any changes and do better, or just, you know, solidify a deck list for you guys and just get more experience. And then the second half of the video will be the post-locals review. It's like after all the matchups have happened, after everything, talking about how the duels went, how the deck was, what cards are specifically good, specifically bad, and if I wanted to make any changes going forward. So today we're playing Traptrix. We're playing it again. We played it last week, but we went 4-0. And I know what you're saying is like, why play it again? Like, you already are at the top of the mountain, the top of the hill. I'm like, I get that, but I want to play it again. And I definitely felt like there were some changes I still wanted to make to the list. So we made a couple more changes to the list, and so we're going to test those out for this week. And yeah, so let's get into the list. Let's not waste too much more time. Oh, also, I like doing it this way. I think this is higher quality, doing like the face cam like this and then swapping over to, you know, an in-hand deck profile. I think it's more satisfying. So hopefully you guys appreciate that as much as I do, because I think that's pretty good. Pretty good. I don't know. It's cool. All right, so let's get started here with our deck profile here. You can see my stupid ass hands. I'm going to be moving around like an idiot the whole time. But yeah, so Traptrix, the deck is really good, very much control-y, but we did make some changes here. As far as the monsters go, though, we're pretty standard on that. 3 Myrmeleo, 3 Mantis, 3 Dionea. Yeah, Myrmeleo is the best one, Dionea is the best one after turn 1, and Mantis is like just in between. It's like solid, it's like fine both ways. It's a plus, it helps dodge backer removal, all that stuff. Then for the rest of the monsters, same as before, 2 Tiamatron, 1 Scythe, and 1 Moraltac. Don't sleep on Moraltac. I keep telling people this. Moraltac's better than people think. It's a pretty good artifact, especially in this deck. There, and then for the spells, this is where we see our first changes here. 2 Desires, 1 Upstart, that's the same, but we're actually moving to 3 Super Poly instead of 2 before, and we're also dropping both Called by the Grave. So it's just better going second. I thought the card overperformed that last week, and I felt like even going first it's fine, so I just wanted to go all out on this, and we have space in the extra deck, so it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, 3 Super Poly in the main. I think that's where I want it to be for this. Moving on, we move to the traps, finally. We'll start with the trap holes. Another difference here, we decided to drop Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare for a time-space trap hole. It's just way better going second, and I just think it's kind of just generically better. Floodgate still leaves the body on board. This just completely shuffles it back into the deck, so I like that a little bit better. I've always been a bigger fan of time-space. And then I move to the normal stuff, the normal traps. We've got 3 Traptrix Standard, 3 Sanctum Standard, 3 Shade Brigandine, busted for the turn 1 combo, and 3 Compulse, just really good monster removal there. Super Standard, didn't move any of those at all. Those are your 3 ups, they gotta stay. And then we move to the 2 ofs, 2 Lost Wind, 2 Heavy Storm Duster, and 2 Impermanence. These are the last of the changes to the main deck. Decided to add 2 Impermanence from 0 to the main deck, just because, like, literally it was like the 2 Super Poly was like the only card going second, so I want another little card going second. It doesn't clog with Shade Brigandine as bad as you'd think, and I wanted to drop the 3rd copy of Heavy Storm Duster because I opened hands last week that, even though I got lucky and was able to win, I opened like 2 Heavy Storm Duster against a deck that does not really care about it, and my board just was lacking disruption of any kind of like impact to my opponent, and so those duels could have easily swung the other way if they actually had a better hand. So then moving into the extra deck, we've got Traptrix Sarah at 2, 1 Asa and 1 Ningirsu. Moving Sarah down to 2 just because we're trying to fit more Super Poly targets in. If I'm playing it at 3, I want to feel comfortable if I ever had to resolve 2 in a duel. So and you don't need 3. I don't think you need 3. There. Moving into the XCs, Redoer, Giant Hand, it makes it so we're playing Hat in 2020, and then Spell and Trap removal with Tornado, and Monster removal with Castell. Pretty basic there. And then we move to the Super Poly targets. This is where the extra deck really changes. You've got Starving Venom, Dragostapelia, Violet Chimera, Trifio Veritum, Duplexer Chimera, Mud Dragon, and Almarduke. A big old fusion package here. Nothing too crazy. I mean, I just wanted to cover all my bases, and a lot of these overlap the same matchup. So, like I said, if I had to resolve 2 Super Poly, I could do like a Mud Dragon and a Starving Venom, or like and a Trifio Veritum like against the Dark Dragon like Rocket deck. There's like Duplexer and Violet Chimera for like Sally's. You can just cover a myriad of stuff, so I felt more comfortable there. And then we move into the side deck. We've got 2 Ash, 2 Droll, or 2 Crow, sorry, and 1 Retaliating Sea. Retaliating Sea is pretty cool. It's a cool hand trap I want to try out. Particularly good against like Shaddoll Invoked, and it also, when it's sent to the graveyard, can search Mantis, which is crazy because it doesn't search anything for like any deck except for this deck. And then this Pankratops, I thought this was still good. It just gives you immediate board presence going second against any mid-range decks. 2 evenly matched. It's fine. We don't need 3 of it. Space in the side has actually been pretty tight. Been having a lot of stuff I want in here, but trying to decide what's the best stuff. The third Heavy Stormduster, even though I took 1 out of the main, I still want to have 1 for the matchups it is really good against, because sometimes you want to resolve 2. And then for the going first stuff, 3 Judgment. It just blanks any busted going second card that anybody's going to be siding in on you. There, and then so this is a proxy. This is a pointer of the Red Lotus. Really, really good with Traptrix because it can just search it out. That's why we're only playing 2, so you can essentially side in 5 of it. And it just rips 1 card out of your opponent's hand that would be a card that like breaks your board. Nothing too crazy there, but I thought it really synergizes well with the deck. And then 1 Imperial Order, just too good in certain matchups. Shaddoll Invoked, Pendulum, and just even other decks that just play like 10 to 15 spell cards, that if you go first and just activate that, they just like can't even use like 3 cards in their hand, and you're just going to win so quick. Because they're only going to have access to 2 or 3 cards against you. So, yeah, that's pretty much the list. The deck performed really well last week. Hopefully we can have some repeat success this week and do, you know, at least similar success. Nothing too let downish, but I feel like this list is definitely better. I definitely feel more confident in this list. We'll just have to see if we can, you know, just capitalize on it. Even though, like, I'll still stand by, I feel like, even if the deck doesn't perform, that this list is better overall, because that was just my first iteration and it was a good week. But yeah, hopefully we can repeat our success. So guys, we're gonna cut here. This is about that time. We'll be back in just a couple seconds here to get back to how the tournament went, how everything was, and just going over matchups and everything. So sweet, I will see you in a minute, and peace. I'm such a stupid idiot. Alright dudes, we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. From locals. Let's just get into it. Let's just get into how everything went. This is the next day. If I look different, if I look stupid, you know, whatever. Anyway, so me, Mike, and Chris, we all went down to locals. I was taking Traptrix, obviously. Mike taking Zombies. Chris taking Salamangrates with the microcoder package that he was testing for the first time. Anyway, we get there. Let's do round 1. Starting out with round 1, we actually end up against Anti-Meta Stun. This is an older gentleman that comes like every week. He knows the guys who own the shop. And he's loud. Whatever, I still enjoy dueling him. I usually end up in a pretty good matchup versus him because I'm kind of just usually playing like Subterror, stuff like Subterrors and Traptrix that like has good matchups versus his deck, so I usually don't struggle that much. But anyway, he wins the die roll. He kind of just does what his deck does. He has like 2 Judgments to just stop both of my first turn, like 2 turns normal summons, and he just kind of beats me down from there after I don't have another follow-up summon. And so he just plays Fossildyna, beat down game 1. I'm actually feeling kind of nervous there because then all it takes is 1 kerfuffle and I can easily lose this set. Anyway, we go first the second game. We kind of just do what we do. We have a Heavy Stormduster and a Traptrix, so we get another one because we obviously sided in the third. And that's pretty much all she wrote there. That's pretty much all it is. Wipe out the back row, and I can just beat over his normal summons from there. And then game 3, he goes first. He does not open good. He opens 3 normal summons himself. Goes like, I think Fossildyna sets 1 and equips Moonmirror Shield and says, go, in which case I just kind of set a bunch of stuff into the board, in which case I end up like tricking away, or not tricking, Heavy Stormdustering away both of his back row, so he loses the equip spell, and so his monster's a 1200 beater at that point, and he attacked into me, so I hit him with that, and so he never got his buffs, and so he did just kind of die. Yeah.
And that was kind of all she wrote. I kind of just mop it up quickly from there, and we quickly get our first win of the day, 2-1. So 1-0 at this point. Then we get into round 2. I am facing dinosaurs. So I've actually been having like some trouble with dinosaurs, like as a player, not even as like I don't think the matchups are bad. I don't think anything else is really bad. It's just randomly that matchup has been giving me trouble and a lot. So anyway, this is where some bad stuff starts for me. This is where I win the die roll, I'm going first, and I have 3 Traptrix monsters in my hand to start. Actually, all 3 Mantis. And so my turn 1 play is like normal summon Link into Sarah and set 1 back row. And pass. Really bad. Somehow we end up winning this duel because I had a Tiamatron in hand. So he plays right into Tiamatron, and I'm able to pop his Conductor, and it's super clean. I let him go into battle phase first, by the way, so that like he's not protected under Miscellaneous Source, and Conductor can only activate in main phase. So I just summon it, pop him, and he's forced to kind of just go like Doggeran attack over my Tiamatron, and somehow we end up grinding this duel out. It's a toughie, but we grind it out. Game 2, guess what? Another 3 Traptrix monsters in hand. I normal summon Mermelli because I'm like, let me try and get an extra disruption, an extra trap hole to stun him, and he ashes me. Ugh. And yeah, he pretty much swiftly mops this one up. I still, same thing, open Sarah and 1 back row. He breaks through it pretty quick and OTKs me. It's not that big a deal. Then we go game 3. I go first again. And would you like to guess what's in my hand? Yeah, well, sure, you're probably right. It's 3 Traptrix monsters, 3 normal summons. I normal summon Mermelio. He ashes it, so I end on Mermelio, or I end on Sarah and 1 back row again, and he doesn't really have much trouble breaking through that and just bludgeoning me pretty damn quick. So somehow we escaped game 1 with a win, and game 2 and 3 we bricked again. 3 really tough bricks. I really have not struggled with consistency in this deck very much ever, but this was one of the few cases, and so we do lose our first round here. 1-1 we are after this. So we go to round 3. I go first. I win the die roll. And wouldn't you believe it? 3 Traptrix normal summons in my hand. But at least we have a Sanctum, so we do normal summon Link into Sarah, and then set a Sanctum so we can scythe our opponent. We do get a free monster. We do get a free trap hole for the next turn. After scything my opponent, who is reveals he's on Scrap Spirals, he normal summons Recycler, and we like stun him for that turn. I play Beatdown for 1 turn. I deal him a decent amount of damage, and like literally on the next turn, he just like kills me. He just like goes in. He explodes so hard on the next following turn that he just rips everything off my board. He baited out my 1 trap hole. I didn't have any other disruptions after that, and yeah, that was pretty much all she wrote. And then game 2, we open 2 Shade Brigandine and a Scythe and a trap hole. So like my hand sucks. I try to heavy Storm Duster my Scythe, but he starts with Instant Fusion into Millennium Eyes, and Millennium Eyes just kind of negates the Scythe engrave. So yeah, he just OTKs me there as well. So a quick 2-0 from Spiral. It's actually my first time ever playing Spiral, so I'm happy for the experience. I did get a first look in person at like exactly how the deck goes and sequences that I tend to like to go through. So I guess that is a bonus there, like the learning experience. But man, it was brutal. Quick 2-0 on that one. So then we are 1-2 and looking kind of bleak. By the way, this week at locals we had 25 people, so it was actually pretty large relative to a lot of locals, and even ours 25 is pretty good. So yeah, we're 1-2. Mike is 3-0, and Chris is 2-0-1 at this point. So we're going in round 4 feeling kind of low, and I need to pick me up. So we look at our round, and we're actually playing Luna Lights in round 4. I lose the die roll, but his turn 1 is really bad. He opens like Kaleido Chick, pass. Like actually just Kaleido Chick, pass. And so I'm like, okay, I can work with Kaleido Chick, pass. And we do. We just kind of like normal summon, beat over Kaleido Chick, set 4 back row and pass it up, and we just super poly him on his turn, and that's pretty quick to like when it's over, like honestly. Like like his turn was not that good, and I have another super poly, so next turn when I top deck, I go like battle phase, like I think I summoned one more monster off Sarah and something else, whatever. We go like attack, dealing like whatever, like 5,700, and then we just use the second super poly to go into Starving Venom in the middle of his turn, and then just like attack for the last bit of damage. So yeah, we get the game 1 win, and then game 2, kind of the same. He goes first, but he opens too many side cards. He kind of just hard bricked. But we also had a Crow, so I do Crow the Lunalite Perfume, which does kind of end his turn completely with just like one monster on board again, and we just kind of play beatdown. I mean, we just kind of normal summon, beat over him, and then just set 4 back row or whatever into his board, and he just can't break through that. He just tries to summon, and he's just gone. So we actually get a pretty swift 2-0 there, finally evening us out, and we did not brick anymore, which was good. We did not need any more bricks. We had 5 in a row. So we're actually 2-2 at this point, which is not bad at all until we move into our last round. And we start with a guy that we talked to at the beginning as we were shuffling and stuff, and he says he's X0-3. He's undefeated, but he has 3 ties. That's why we got matched up, which is fucking insane. That's actually so crazy. But yeah, so he's X0-3, and he's playing Invoke Shadalls. He wins the die roll, but I believe he bricks, so he just isn't really able to do much there, and so he actually just ends like on like 1 set card and pass or something. It's something like really bad. And I was like, oh brother. And then so I end up going, we kind of just do our thing. We make a Sarah, we set 3 or 4 back row, and we pass. And on his turn, I end up dropping a Tiamaton, pseudo extra linking him, and I just think he's never able to get back into the extra monster zone, and so we just kind of just attack, and he's never able to get anything going. Game 2, he goes first, obviously. He activates a Meltdown, we ash it. He sets a Hedgehog and passes. We beat over the Hedgehog, he searches a Shadal Fusion, and then we set some back row. On his turn, we drew into a second Ash, by the way, for a turn, and we have a DD Crow in hand. So he goes Shadal Fusion, we Ash, then he goes Alistair that he drew for turn to search an Invocation. Invocation's out a Shadal Construct, in which we lost win because I don't want him to get the send, because I feel like the Crow is going to be enough after that. So he he doesn't normal summon, but he ends up linking off the Construct for something, and then he uses the Construct to get the Shadal Fusion back from grave, in which we DD Crow the Shadal Fusion, so he does not get anything off the Construct at all. We did use 2 cards to do that, but I'll take it, because now he's like almost completely cut off, and he pretty much just like passes, because the monster, I forgot what that's right, he linked it off for gravity controller, and he didn't want to waste the attack on Sarah, so I was like, okay. And next turn we're just playing kind of beatdown from there. He's never able to, I think he gets the Alistair back with the Invocation, but we're able to, I think, negate or something the Alistair, and he's just never able to get it going again, and we just end up running away with advantage. So we actually get the swift 2-0 there. It actually wasn't that swift. We almost went into time again, even in a 2-game match, but we did get the win, so we did actually end up 3-2. Did scoop a winning record after starting pretty rough at 1-2. It was just a rough patch of really bad hands that I promise you guys, if you play this deck, you play this whatever version of this deck, like similar to mine, it won't happen very often. It shouldn't happen very often. It was just a bad couple of duels for me. And it cost us a potential top here, which is whatever. I'm really not that discouraged. The changes to the list we made had nothing to do with consistency and drawing too many normal summons. So that's definitely not the cause of it. I think it's just an anomaly, statistical anomaly of like just some really bad hands at really inopportune times. But it is what it is. We did still go 3-2, so we were 7-2 overall at 2 locals with Traptrix, and they're good. That's all I want to leave this video off is they're good. If you're interested in control decks like this, you like playing trappish type decks, this is a very cool trap deck that lets you like get a ton of resources off of link 1 and kind of give your opponent the dongle from there. So that's pretty much going to do it for me here, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, if you want to try out this list, feel free to You don't have to try this exact list. Also, you can use it kind of like a template to kind of look at my list and kind of change a couple things here and there to your potential liking and or personal liking, and going from there. So yeah, if you like this video, if you like this series, subscribe to the channel to see more from me in the future. Hopefully we'll be back next week with a new deck. I am not decided on what that is yet, but I'm working on it. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.